Mark said Will practiced some yesterday. Just how has he worked and what he's been able to do?
Yeah, I mean he's day to day right now, so I'm not going to get into all that stuff with Will. But yeah, you know he's definitely was out there today, and you know trending the way we'd hope would trend. So.
Are he and Kaya sharing reps right now in case he can't play?
I mean, obviously we always have to prepare the backup. So we're, you know, Kai's got to do his share, just like you know, like last week, to make sure he gets himself ready to play. So yeah, Kai always gets some reps. So yeah, we're making sure that it's balanced.
Rich, when you looked at the tape, what did you think of the way Kaya played?
I thought he looked like a guy. First-time starter, you know, he didn't get off to a good start. Obviously, the way the game started in the first play always set us back, and you know and then you know the first pass goes off the fingertips, and then you just kind of, you know, you got to fight your way out of it. But you know, it's tough. It's like anything. The first time you do it, it's really hard, and you have to learn from it. So there were some plays he made, and there's some things that he's got to learn from. So. You know, it's our job as a young starter to help him, and as a player, or a coach, the people around him, and we didn't do a good enough job, and so that obviously that falls on me and us and staff and the rest of us. So, but yeah, he's got to learn from everything that happened in that game. You got to bank it and not make the same mistakes twice.
Rich, another Mississippi school, another kind of funky 3-down defense. In terms of tape, what kind of challenges does Mississippi State bring?
This is a really good defense. They play fast, they play physical, they have a clean identity, they have a number of returning starters. They got guys that have started over 20 games, they got a bunch of juniors and seniors, and they're too deep. They've been playing in the system for a long time. You can tell they play off each other, they play well, and they've been overwhelming offenses, and if you let them, they can jump on you, and you have to match that intensity. You got to be sharp, and you got to have a great week of practice to prepare for something like this, so you can go out there and play fast and meet them. But they are definitely going to bring it, and they're one of the best defenses we'll face for sure this year.
You've often been told that the quarterback plays well if the people around him play well. What about the people that's been running well?
Yeah, I mean that's it's well said. I mean, the reality of it is great quarterbacks raise the level of play of the people around them. You know, they're able to distribute the ball, they're able to their leadership, their intangibles, the cadence, all the little things, the way you break the huddle, that comes from the quarterback, and that elevates the players around you. And then when you got good players around you, it's your job to distribute to them, to let them make the plays, and that makes you a great offense. And obviously when Will's in there, it's a lot easier and it's a lot more effortless for all of us. You know, it's just he's an experienced, great football player that can make that come alive. So yeah, when it's another guy in there and you're learning, it can get bogged down, and I think at times that's just part of the growing pains of being a young player and a young quarterback. But yeah, it's exciting, you know, to think about what can be when Will's rolling, and you know, hopefully we can get that going.
Mark mentioned that you all had a package for Destin Wade if you needed him Saturday.
Yeah.
Just what have you seen from him in terms of his progress, what he's at?
I think he's done a great job. He's improved dramatically as a passer, a thrower. I think he works hard on the scout team, and we're able to watch that film with him every week and help him develop himself. And he gets lots of work against a really good defense. And I think he's ready. He was ready. Like, I felt 100% confident putting him in the game, and I know he'd have done really well. He's got a lot of presence, and I think he's got respect, the guys on the team. And I just like the way he's developing as a person and a player. So, yeah, it's good to know he's there.
Obviously, every game is different, but on third down, where do you want to see improvement from the players around the quarterback?
Yeah, you know, we've been doing pretty well, and we good enough on third down until last week was really poor. But obviously, pass protection is always going to be a big part of it. You know, and then you got to use cadence, and when you jump off sides, that hurts you. And then yeah, I mean, we got to make plays, and you know, last week we had guys open and we had things happen on third down, and for one reason or another we didn't execute. You know, and we got to clean that up and be tighter. But you know, a lot of that comes with you know, a guy playing his first time, and you're trying to be very, like, I didn't call plays early that we're going to put the quarterback in jeopardy on third down. You know, our defense was playing well. We were going to be conservative until we felt like it was time to let him throw the ball when we needed it. And that's just part of what I believe with a young guy and feeling it out. And so, we got into halftime where we thought we were okay, and we had a good plan coming out. It just, the way the game flowed, it was hard to execute.
The first couple of weeks of the season, there weren't too many passes going off fingertips or being dropped, but that's kind of added up the last couple of weeks. Have you seen a lack of concentration, communication? What's kind of been leading to this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. You know, guys get dinged up, guys get later in the season, your bodies get run down. We're playing with some younger players. Like that can get to you. There's no doubt about that. And maybe it's last week I think there were some tough catches that we'd expect our guys have made, but they weren't easy, and they could have made a difference. But I believe that we are, when you're transitioning, running the ball, and you're switching quarterbacks and things are going on like that, it may have affected us, but I feel confident with the starting group and the skill players that when the ball comes their way, they're going to make the plays, and I trust everyone, and we'll get it done.
How do you just feel about overall your tempo, the pace you guys are operating?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's been slow. I mean, obviously, but that's part of the way the offense is. I mean, we're taking it deep into the count. We can play fast if we need to. We did at the end of the game. We have in 2 minutes. We can line up static and go. And sometimes we can do that probably a little bit more to generate a little more time. But I do believe we are in a system and a culture where, the pace of the game plays to our favor when we can, churn out drives, and we're going to huddle and snap it with 10 left or less on the clock most of the time. We can get out of the huddle fast. We can do those things, but it's just we're running the ball, we're trying to grind it out the last couple of weeks, things like that. It's definitely going to be a little bit slower tempo, but yeah, we can go fast at any time, and the 2 minute was what it was. It was Kai's first time, but at least he learned from that. And as far as assignments go, there was very few missed assignments. We've been pretty good in that area.
Coach, go ahead. If you had to pick like one or two specific areas where you'd like to see improvement for the offense as a whole to take a step forward, what would those be?
Yeah, I mean, like last week I felt like we just didn't have the, it was a new situation with the quarterback, and I felt like we didn't have the detail and the energy. And I thought Mississippi State, we'd taken this jump forward in the sense that we lost the game, but I liked the way the line we played. I liked how we ran the ball. I liked their physicality. I liked the way everyone played. There was a lot of plays where 11 guys did the right thing. And, we made a couple. We had 4 or 5 plays that changed that game. And that's on. You can't have that happen. But I felt like we were striding forward, and momentum was pushing to this offense that was about to break out. Will gets hurt. We are sloppy last week. We probably forced some things with some ideas because we're trying to cover up with a new quarterback, and it looks the way it looks. But I'm not going to knee jerk, and I'm not going to. I know what we have. I know we're the team that was trending the right way against Ole Miss. It just takes focus, a little more effort and detail, and better coaching on our part. And I think this week we'll come out and put a hell of a product on the field.
What's the energy been like at practice this week?
It's been great. Today was a great practice, and part of that is Coach. Coach had an unbelievably good message on Monday. He's probably the best coach I've ever heard post-game, and in those meetings, just the messages he sends to the players, sensing the pulse of the team, the coaches, and getting them to hone in the way they need to. And I felt like his message was executed the last 2 days, and I like where we're at. Can we put it together all week? Can we maintain that, and can we bring that energy and detail to the game and see what happens against a really good football team?
We talked a lot about the tight ends this offseason, and we've actually saw touchdowns in back-to-back games from Jordan. How do you like what you're being able to do with that group right now? Do you like where they're at? I know that's kind of a 2-aspect thing with them, blocking and pass catching. Just can you talk about that for a second? Yeah, no, I mean, overall they've had a very good year. Not like everything. There are guys at moments that can do better or do different things, but it's just a really good group. And when things happen, and the ability to switch personnel groups and their football smarts, and like I said, Dingle's. He's just great. He's a young player just scratching the surface, and so I like where they're at. They're physical, they're dynamic, and I think that they're important to what we do, and I really like what they've done this year.
Lonnie, last one. He saw to ask my question, but my guess is you usually work conservative, and When you talk about conservative, you talk about not throwing the ball down the field with a new quarterback. And I was wondering how the tight ends played into the picture as far as the short passing game is concerned.
Yeah, I mean each week is a little bit different, but yeah, I mean that's the one thing in this offense. You're hoping that you can stretch them in seams and down the middle, but they're really good in feeling space, and when Will's in there, like he can just distribute to all the different guys, and he can get through his progressions, and it's just very effortless for him. So that makes it easier to get those guys the ball too at times, but. Yeah, they're just a really good group, and keeping them involved is important to our success.
Okay, thanks.